Alright, we're on. Hey guys, it's Mike Goldsmith, Channel Pedicab, here with McCluskey of Proper Channel. And we're just going to talk for a little bit and learn about more of what we do. So how's it going today, Will?
Good. Classic startup, incredibly busy, running all over the place, but that's what it's all about.
So Proper Channel, tell us more about what you guys do.
So Proper Channel, we do a couple of things. What most people know us as is our free public site. Think of it a lot like Wikipedia, but instead of telling you about a subject, so let's say, telling you about the moon, Proper Channel tells you how to get to the moon. We tell you how to get things finished. Now, what's really amazing about that is we end, this stream of people figuring something out, and then in no way that knowledge goes back to the people who need to figure it out in the future. So you have this huge knowledge loss in society. And what we came up with is, well, how about we find a feedback loop so that if someone has figured it out in the world, then everyone knows how to do it. So perfect example, things like how to get your driver's license. Everyone has a bad DMV story.
Right.
Well, let's end that. It's actually fairly easy to get your driver's license if you do it the right way. And so we share the right way to get anything done. And by the right way, it might be secrets, it might be shortcuts and things like that. But hey, anything that gets the job done.
Now, is there a flowchart that people think that's like go too far out the normal circumstance?
Oh, we've got all sorts of bizarre, strange things. I think one that we definitely didn't expect was, the best Pokemon stops. Almost every major city, when the big Pokemon Go craze happened, people needed a way to share all this information because they were just discovering it.
Right.
And so we have all sorts of, pretty much every major city, Boston, New York, San Francisco, even Tallahassee. It's, hey, here's where the best spots are and here's what you can find there. But then we also have, just stranger things like where's the cheap food near FSU, what's the best place to take a nap on campus? It's that expert advice that, truthfully, people, suffer through. It's like, oh, I have a half an hour break and I'm exhausted. Where can I go where people will leave me alone? And, well, someone's already solved that problem. And so now you can go to Proper Channel and copy them and solve your own issue.
Now you got your start over here at Domi Station.
That's right, yeah. Domi was a great start, and it's a great just resource for Tallahassee businesses. It sort of serves as the center for the entrepreneurial startup scene. There's almost, I would say it's almost at least one event a day. Many days there's 2, 3, or even 4 events going on. And so if you're interested in startups, it's just a great opportunity to go over and see what's happening and sort of dip your toe in without much risk.
So what's going on with you now? You kind of moved over and you got this grant in the beginning, and so what kind of steps are you at now?
So in your classic startup progression, you have the idea phase. And that's where you do a lot of research and your own just testing your assumptions and is there going to be a market for this? Is it going to help out people? Because what you think doesn't necessarily mean it's true. And so you go out there, you do lots of research, and then it's, okay, I did this, now let's see if it can actually be done. Let's put together, it's usually called a minimum viable product. It's let me start small, test it out, see if it works. We've gotten through those 2 stages, and now we're at validation. We're moving over to our enterprise tool, where we solve the 2 biggest problems in every organization: process inefficiency, my people can't get the work done in time, and knowledge loss. The one guy in our office who knows how to do this thing, what happens if he leaves? We see that ruin businesses all the time. And it's not just small businesses, it's big businesses. One of my favorite anecdotes, there's 2 of them. One is because we were in a space race, NASA actually doesn't have the technology anymore to get back to the moon, even though we did it over 30 years ago. And that's just absurd. You think, oh, we did it that long ago, it'd be really easy. But no, people didn't write it down because they were moving so fast. And the other one is a single maintenance worker at General Mills. She retired, and it cost them something like 11 months to reinvent the process that she knew.
That's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. And I promise you, for at least 6 months, she was telling everyone, someone needs to learn this. We see it all the time, but they don't hire the replacement in time. She can't cross-train someone else, and then she's gone. And when they leave your business, they take all that information with them.
Sure. Now, how does the city embrace startups as a whole? Has it been kind of positive feedback?
It's been incredible for us. We have, I mean, just one thing that I tell a lot of people who are interested in moving to Tallahassee, or students who are interested in, looking for jobs and should I stay in Tallahassee or should I go somewhere else, is the leadership here is just incredibly accessible, and they're motivated. I mean, politics aside and what they want, almost everyone's on board with, we want to make Tallahassee better. And everyone seems to agree that a good step that we need to do is help local businesses. And so it's just been absolutely incredible, the support we've had, the opportunities we've had. You know this very well. When you're a new company, you need a little bit of help. Someone needs to go out on a limb first and say, hey, I'll try this out. And we've had so many partners here in Tallahassee. It's just been amazing.
Let's shift gears for a bit. You're in a pedicab right now doing an interview. You ever thought that would happen when you started this whole thing?
No, not once.
Yeah. You got to think outside the box sometimes, and we're definitely doing that today.
Exactly.
What do you want to know about us? I mean, it's been kind of mostly you right now, but...
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just play the role of the interviewer for a while. It's how did this start? What was the spark?
We were on a family trip in New York about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And there was a cab strike going on where you couldn't get a regular taxi. So, of course, the only way to get around at that point is by pedicab. And that was right around the time when Gain Street was getting revitalized and all that stuff going on with the city. So we just thought it was the right time to really get out there and see what's going on. We're still kicking after 4 years. So.
That's amazing. Yeah, congratulations. One of the things that I've always liked about your business is there's so much more going on than just the cabs themselves.
Right.
And that's what always has kept me interested in, what made me want to learn more and things like that. What are some of the things, I know these answers, so nice little softball here, but what are some of those things that are in your business model that a lot of people don't know about?
Well, the thing that
the back of the shirt points out.
Yeah, well, you can't see it now, but our front is our branded shirt, and then on the back we have spots for sponsors and advertisers. So when you're in the driver's seat, no pun intended, the people behind you getting ridden around, they see the shirt right in front of them, so that's going to stick with them the whole ride. And that's just one angle. We do a blog post for free as a way to cross-promote stuff going on. We have spots on the cab themselves for advertising and marketing. It's really just embracing the culture of the city as a whole, not just the pedicabs themselves, but really embracing the community and what's going on.
I think that's one of the things I really like about your business and why I've just sort of latched on is you really sort of get that same thing that one of our core values is community at Proper Channel, and it's just like it really feels like that's also so important with what you guys are doing. I mean, you have to be plugged in. It's like you're the physical legs for people getting around at all these big events, and it's like, of course you have to support the events, know about the events, and be there.
Well, another thing is like when we're out for cultural events and things around town, it's great because people park far, they don't feel like walking after a show. We're there to help them get around, and it's like with that new pedestrian bridge through the county and the city, we go straight across there to Cascades Park in the Edison, and it definitely beats going up the hill on Gain Street for sure.
And to that point, it's I think one of the other things, it's not just about I don't want to walk. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's genuinely fun to hop in a pedicab and blow past all these pedestrians walking.
Well, it's really part of the experience too, as you're just talking about. It's not just getting into a car or an Uber or a taxi. It's more than just getting from point A to point B. It's experiencing the open air and getting to have that carriage feel like you're in Central Park without really being in Central Park right now. But we got our own Cascades. We got campus, the nightlife, all that stuff going on around town. We got events coming up throughout the year. That's really what we're part of, is just being a whole as the community to embrace and get around, and something that you don't normally hop in.
What's been some of your experiences of starting a business in Tallahassee? What are some of the things that really surprised you of, wow, this is a great place to do business?
Well, like you were talking about earlier, the local government's been very supportive and embracing it as a whole. It takes time to really get to something to flourish like this, as you and me both have discussed. But again, we're still here, and it's really getting the community to embrace us and see where it's going at this point, because I think we're both in that phase of we've been here now let's make it happen, because
Yeah.
that's really the next step.
Exactly. It's like, get to that point. You guys are definitely ahead of us, but it's, we're still in that validation point. It's like, let's prove that it works. And, all the numbers are coming back and things like that, but you guys are in that scaling point. We already know that it works. Now let's just do it more and more.
Right.
And we've talked a lot about that, and I'd love for you to share with, our viewers is, what have been some of the issues? I know we've talked before. It's like one of the things that any new company has, or even established companies, they complain about this all the time. It's, how do you find good people? What have been some of your best tips and tricks for finding people in Tallahassee?
Definitely hang out beside the gyms. That's been a plus for us. But yeah, the main thing is just getting people to know it's not going to be a quick fix. For us, it's really getting out there and making sure they're aware that it's not just your 9 to 5, but you also have to work for it as well, because it's just a matter of retaining the right talent, keeping them on board, and making sure they know that they got to be in it for the long haul as well, because anyone can go flip a burger or get an office job. If that's what they want to do, that's fine. I'm not going to tell them not to, but for us, it's really part stamina, part customer service, and then that tourism aspect, because put those three things together, you got the perfect pedicab driver, and that's our biggest thing, is getting the right talent and keeping them, because it's a waste of my time if I'm just going to interview them and they're not going to stick around long enough to give it a chance.
Absolutely. You hear that all the time with people. It's like, turnover is such a major cost, and it's, but you identified it perfectly. Is like, find out where those perfect those perfect employees are. Focus there and focus with the people who are going to stick around. One of the things, again, in our contribution to the community is we have a strong internship program. And, it's everyone, a lot of very established companies, they won't offer internships because, they just don't get the return. No worries. Actually, let's do... There we go.
Just we're back.
Sorry about that, guys. That's a real glimpse of what it's like being a small business owner, is you're always on call, always working.
Yep.
So what I was saying is, one of the things that we've noticed is even large established companies, they don't want to do internship programs because, the return on investment. And, it's like, a lot of times you do have a negative ROI, but I think it's so important to give back to the community. And Tallahassee and Leon County has given so much to us. I feel it's a mandatory step. It's FSU. We've had interns from FSU, FAMU, and TCC, and it's just been wonderful. And to give them that experience of being able to really have an impact on a business and see a different side of how they can work. You were mentioning before, it's like not just having that office job or flipping burgers.
Right.
If I can do a startup, then maybe I can inspire some of these people to say, hey, I can do that too. I have a good idea.
And the beauty of it with an intern is usually just, we're the heads of the company right now, or the faces, and it helps to have that extra support when we definitely need it.
Yeah,
so that
absolutely.
would definitely kick in, no pun intended.
And I guess to that point, we're running out of time. You wanna move forward? Wanna get a tour of Railroad Square?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Roll for a ride real quick. So let's just change gears for a second. We'll be back in a little bit.
Perfect.
Not here before, right, Will?
Yep.
Not from this point of view. Alright. I also have a nice little punch in there too, so to do our safety too. Now, Will, we're going to try and talk with Channel online, because right now you're in the passenger seat, but you're on social media as well, correct?
Mm-hmm.